good. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Handforth Town Council's Planning Committee meeting. A few items first, and that is if you should hear the fire alarm go off, it is not a drill. Please exit the building as swiftly as you can, either using the exit that you came in through or the exit over here on this side, and assemble at the front of the building. Thank you. Okay, item 21.31.1 to receive apologies for absence. No. Item 21.31.2 to note declarations of interest and requests for dispensation to discuss and vote on a matter in which a member or co-opted member has a disclosable pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest. That applies to any councillors here. No, you have no need to. Any more comments, councillor? Item 21.31.3, the open forum. Comment and questions concerning items on the agenda can be put to the council by the public during this period. Matters which, in the chairman's view, require debate and or a discussion will be referred to the next committee council meeting as appropriate. This forum is restricted to 15 minutes unless the chairman allows otherwise. If anybody does have any comments, could they please pick up the microphone so that everybody can hear? Over to you, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, we have no questions from the members of the residents of Handforth. The next item is 21.31.4 to approve and sign the minutes of the Planning and Environment Committee meeting of the 14th of November 2021. Anybody have any issues with page 1? Page 2? Page 3? Page 4? So you're happy. So can somebody please propose to accept these? Proposed by Councillor John Smith. May I have a seconder, please? Councillor Sampson. Vote on that, please. All those in favour? Yes, you did. Yeah. That was unanimous. Item 21.31.5 to consider planning application 21.4825M, proposed second storey existing side extension on 38 Marlow Drive, Handforth. This item was deferred from the previous meeting. Documentation to the website. Comments, councillors, please.
Chair, it's in keeping with what's been happening.
Anybody else? There we go. Right, okay, can I have a proposer then to support the application? Thank you. Councillor Sullivan will propose it. May I have a seconder, please? Millward will second. Can we have a vote on that then, please? Unanimous. Thank you. Item 21.31.6 to consider the planning application 21.5544M, proposed two-storey side elevation extension, rear single-storey extension and a front elevation porch extension for Langley Drive, Handforth. Heard from the last meeting for comments, councillors? Read. Okay, may I have a proposer for that, please? Councillor John Smith proposes, seconder. Councillor Sullivan seconds. I may have a vote on that one, please. All those in favour? Thank you, unanimous. Item 21.31.7 to consider planning application 215582M, a two-storey side and rear extension with associated roof works and a single-storey rear extension, 21 Hampson Crescent, Handforth.
Chair, there are two objections planning, and it's regarding the height, and she won't be able to sit out in. It was quite a lengthy objection. You could maybe adjust the height of the extension, as she suggests in her objection.
To modify it. May not be a consideration. In that case, then, but if there was something on the portal about actually changing I think the top. So I think if they followed those planning and actually looked at that, then I would be happy to support it. Forward on that basis, can we alter that? Yes? Yeah. Okay.
They haven't got a party.
No, that was mentioned, the party wall. And I think that needs lining in that as well, and perhaps put that in the council mail. Yeah. So can I have a proposer then, please, that we accept with the changes, which are to look at the height, the proximity, boundary, and also the party wall. Yeah. Can we just put that down? So would somebody be prepared to propose that?
Are we effectively rejecting?
We're rejecting it in its current form and asking them to amend, support it, if they make the amendments which have been asked for. I can't hear you with your mask on.
Sorry.
Microphone, it should be.
Sorry. I was just asking for a bit of clarification just about whether it's normal to. Because we're specifying.
Well,
Exactly
I think if we put it to the vote, then we know what we're voting for. If you're not happy with what it is, then we vote against it. Deal with it. and to put in our recommendation why we voted against it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So if we propose to, yeah, yes. Okay. So is somebody prepared to propose that? You propose that? Okay. Thank you. Can I have can we take a vote on that then? The vote is to reject it based on the. Yes. Okay, thank you. Right. Item 2131.8 to consider planning application 215643M, the demolition of an existing building, change of use from C3 to C2, and the erection of new apartment buildings for supported living facilities with associated parking, landscaping and access on number 1.
There are 6 very serious objections on this property, and I don't think it's in residential aspects of school.
A resident raised concern over it being used for C2 use, which is generally for people who need kind of care with it. So I think the neighbours.
The comment, Chair. The use of it is for those who are able to live in the community who may have some sort of learning difficulty, but are perfectly capable of living in the community in that sort of assisted development. They would be living there, my understanding, that they would be living there alone in their own actual flat, apartment, and I think it's something that Handforth really does need. The fact that it has been empty for so long, and a lot of people might be considering, well, they're worried about it might be becoming a halfway house for those leaving Her Majesty's pleasure. That is not the case. So I think it should be considered. Is that better? What I was saying is that the development itself is to enable those with learning difficulties to live independently with certain assistance where needed, and the fact that there would be perhaps, is it 6 or 8? I think 8 individuals who Handforth has a number of individuals in that category who would benefit from living socially with other members, but also living in their own apartments. These aren't people who require, my understanding, full-time assistance. These are just those individuals who have some communications issues. I think that Handforth needs it, Chair.
I have a couple of comments as well. I just noted that it looks like from the planning application that there is heavy but one of the things that causes doesn't seem to be evidence of engagement planning portal, and I think that's important on a project like this. And it wasn't obvious to me where the diagrams were to show what the building would look like. So some of the concerns raised by the neighbours were to do with the amount of outdoor space, the amount of parking, and I couldn't,
and the height.
Unless I was not finding them, there weren't diagrams there showing There is one of the concerns from the neighbours though was that the plans, I don't know where they found them, only included 3 car parking spaces, and therefore the 10 flats, 2 carers would naturally overflow into that car park, which was a concern to one of the neighbours. So I think that engagement with the neighbours is really important.
What I would say is that it's a public car park. So anybody can park there. It's not a car park solely for the development.
No.
Sure, but I think it is a valid concern if the property being developed isn't naturally going to be able to accommodate the cars that would be associated with it. And because of the nature of the building that's being proposed, I think it is important that neighbours are engaged prior to the project getting the green light.
My concern is the actual height of the building, which isn't on the same building line as the rest of the road, as far as I can see. I have no objection to having supported living accommodation within the village. I'm not sure that this is the exact site for it. There is very little outdoor space, and we all know that outdoor space is is essential, really, for people who have issues and need support. We all found out over lockdown how important our green spaces were, and I would like to see the plans changed to have some more space. I think, unfortunately, because this is a private development, that financial matters come into it, and they're trying to make as much money as they possibly can out of it, which is quite understandable. But it has to be in keeping with the rest of the road, and I'm not sure that that applies in this particular case. Whilst I support the assisted living, I don't have a problem with that. I think the plans do need to be looked at to reflect the concerns of a lot of residents. There were a huge number of objections to it, which I can understand, but we do need this sort of thing in the village. But the other thing that concerns me is who is going to be here? Are we going to be, is that going to be offered to Handforth residents? Because from what you're saying, Councillor Smith, we have people who need that sort of thing in Handforth. Then I would be much more supportive if I knew that it was going to be Handforth residents rather than people brought from outside.
Yeah, I think the danger is that if there isn't something for Handforth people, then any accommodation might end up with those people whose parents, grandparents, relatives live in Handforth, and they end up having to go and live in Crewe, where they've not got their local support group. We need accommodation in Handforth ourselves, specifically for those with learning difficulties, so that they can live alone and live as normal a life as possible. As for the height, there is a very large office block just a small distance away from where it's proposed that this building be put up.
Ex-school.
It is the ex-Church of England school, yes, but adjacent to that is a very large office block, which I would think is much higher than the proposed height of this building. Yes, it's 3 stories, and it's not small. So, as we said, what would be the problem with having a building close? I say close. It's within maybe 20 meters of homes opposite. That light is now no longer an issue as far as planning is concerned. But there's light from about another 270 degrees all the way around the current property of those who live on School Road. So that stopping this for those reasons, I don't think would be valid. Because if we did it for that development, we'd have to do that for every development where someone complain about the height of the building that's going up adjacent to where they live.
Okay. Any other comments?
A question, Jed. Do we just get one opportunity to?
Well, we can support it with reservations, can't we? Can you advise, Clark, please? Sorry, say that one again. Yeah.
Okay, well, the basis of that question, Chair, is I support the from Councillor Smith there about the requirement. The lack of diagrams, I think, would make it very hard for me to know what we were supporting, because I don't know what the building looks like, which seems to appear on every other application. And the community engagement thing, I do understand some of the concerns that are being raised about. It's not just a normal, it's not just a domestic extension. This is change of use as well. Some kind of engagement with those concerns, I think, is.
You mean prior to us voting on it and we defer it to next month? Is that what you're thinking?
If we only get one, if we can only, well, a holding statement essentially, we don't need to make a decision about that extra.
Okay, 1 second. I didn't notice the closing date. It's what? Right. Okay, so perhaps we could defer it. Would people be happy with that? Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's have a vote then. No, we need a proposer, please, to defer it, and a second.
So just deferring it until the next meeting, is that right,
Don't
Chair?
we have to? No?
No, I'm just asking if that's the proposal.
Yes, to
Defer it till
defer
next meeting.
so that we've got some further information.
And to get hold of the actual plans and diagrams.
The proper diagrams, and to address your concerns for residents and see what we can find out. Yeah.
So essentially, that deferral would get put back to that response would be made back to the
next.
planners,
We'll bring it forward to the. We'll put it back to the next meeting.
And the people responsible for the application would know that that's what we were after.
Yes. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay, so we don't get to the next meeting and have the same kind of.
Yeah.
And we can also
happy to do that. Yeah.
We can also ask the applicant to make sure that a copy of the schematics is produced.
Yes. We can do that, can't we? Yeah, thank you. So can I have a proposer that we defer it and Ashley sends a response to say what we're concerned about? Yes, Councillor Millwood will propose it and Councillor Sullivan will second it. So may we have a vote on that, please? Okay, that's unanimous. Thank you. Last item, 2131-9, to consider planning application 216021M to demolish the existing garage and build a single-storey side and rear extension to form a new family dining, kitchen area and study, 32 Grange Way, Handforth. Comments, councillors, please?
It's rather a big extension, but it's not going to impede any of the other residents.
Yeah. Okay, may I have a proposal? Anybody else propose it? Councillor Sampson will propose. Can I have a seconder? Councillor Sullivan will second. Can we take a vote on to support this application then, please? Thank you. Unanimous. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. That's the close of the planning committee.